Have you ever wondered how much ads affect your purchases, even for something small like a chocolate bar? Usually universities don't let underqualified students run experiments on other students, but we did. BusinessDictionary.com defines brand recall as a qualitative measure of how well a brand name is connected with a product type or class of products by consumers. We ran our experiment under the hypothesis that we could alter the decision-making process of respondents by testing brand recall in response to ad exposure. We ran 4 focus groups and showed our friends a slideshow of a variety of ads. Then we conducted a focus group talking about music, movies, celebrities, and basically anything other than the ads we presented them with. Once we got our friends nice and comfortable, we isolated them one at a time and brought them into a new room to choose a chocolate bar to see if our ads had any effect on their chocolate bar decision process. We started with previous research on brand recall and familiarity. As the literature explains, a consumer's knowledge confidence about a specific brand will increase as his or her familiarity with the brand increases. A consumer's attitude towards a specific brand will be positively affected by his or her familiarity with the brand, and a consumer's knowledge confidence about a specific brand will be positively influenced by his or her intention to buy it. To test these theories, we use multiple research methods to conduct our research. First, we use a focus group to prime our participants. Next, we used a survey to see which information they remembered. And finally, we used an in-depth interview to gain better understanding on their chocolate bar choice. We had 4 different focus groups where we changed a couple of factors. The first focus group was shown a series of ads wherein 5 out of the 100 ads were for Kit Kat. The second focus group was shown the same series of ads, but they were only exposed to 1 Kit Kat ad. The third and fourth focus groups were shown the same slideshows as 1 and 2, respectively. However, the ads were made smaller to test if size of the ad affected brand recall. After the slideshows, we began the discussion portion of our focus groups. Leading with questions about ads in music or movies, we allowed participants to get comfortable discussing their interests. Let's listen in. How many of you have downloaded something like ad blocker to prevent? Yeah. Everybody, eh?
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh.
I'm too lazy.
Usually I'll just wait, I don't care.
Yeah.
Or I'll just do skip if it says like after 5 seconds.
Yeah. Me too.
I don't really watch it though.
True. So you guys kind of find it as white noise?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Does anybody pay for their music?
I do.
I do. I don't pay for all my music, but like specific albums, I would go the length and buy it. Like for example, Milky Chance is like a German reggae, like pop band, and they're a small band. I like to support them. I'd buy it. I have another like friend who's a local artist as well, and like he sells his stuff on iTunes. I would buy it, but like I don't know, Akon, I wouldn't.
I get a lot of stuff on iTunes. Mostly the same thing. I listen to a lot of like indie artists, so it's more like supporting them. And also, I'm just kind of a huge music nerd, so like I buy CDs and records still. Okay. So like I like having the physical copy. Yeah. So like I collect CDs.
Not really.
No. How about you guys? Do if celebrity endorses the product, most likely. No.
I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods. Very controversial, but
Nike. So
yeah.
Big Nike fan.
I'd say probably no, just in the fact like they get the brand out there, but it's not going to be like, oh, I want to be like that, so I'm going to buy it. It just kind of is like, oh, that's an interesting product, so maybe I'll buy it.
Just awareness.
Okay. More of that sense.
Yeah, just different with like TV and like sport, I guess. Because sport you have like a certain performance, so you do want to be like that person. Whereas if it's just like Kardashian, you don't want to be that dumb. You're not going to.
Yeah.
So you're from the Philippines?
Yes.
And everyone else is Canadian born?
American.
American? Okay. So do you find that you associate, I guess, more, or you like celebrities more that are from where you're from?
Yeah.
Well, I was born in LA, so no.
So no. Yeah, fair. Yeah.
I feel like Canadian actors are probably a lot better, I find. I guess it kind of makes them distinct. I mean, I've lived in Canada for most of my life.
Okay.
And I guess it's just a lot of people here take those people from Canada and they just are very proud of them, you know.
Yeah.
It's just they kind of share some kind of identity, and then they're just more famous here, like Seth Rogen,
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling,
Amy Adams.
I'm not sure, Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams.
They're way more into music than I am. So I basically listen to whatever they're listening to, or just random Spotify stuff. I'm not as engaged. So.
Well, like I said, I listen to sad songs and you guys don't, so I can't do that with the group. So there's a lot of songs I listen to by myself.
The only time I listen to anything other than what I normally listen to is when I'm like reading a book or something. I listen to music that's similar to the genre of the book. If I'm reading a fantasy book, I listen to fantasy soundtracks. If I'm reading a sci-fi book, I listen to sci-fi soundtracks for movies like that. But otherwise, I mostly just listen to electronic music or rock.
For the marketers, do you guys tend to watch the Super Bowl ads and critique them, or do you just watch them as a general viewer, just for the enjoyment?
You gotta critique them.
I make comments about if I
Yeah.
like it or not. Probably not detailed like an ad critique per se, but like
What they could do better. Like,
Yeah.
critique them.
Yeah.
like the puppy one is always like
Yeah.
the Budweiser.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the whole like story, like
That one is always a winner.
gets me.
In ads, do you notice the music playing behind it or different songs?
Sometimes, yeah. There's a Hyundai ad that I just jam to the music in the background.
There's a Sun Life financial ad that I really like the song in the background, so I went like a hunt to find it.
Yeah.
I listened to nothing else for like 2
That's
weeks.
the only time where
Yeah.
Shazam comes in handy.
Lyrics in music. So songs that say like, "You're my metaphorical gin and juice" or whatever. Do you like think about that?
John and I were literally having a conversation about this the other day while we were listening to that song. I yelled across the house, like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
They also want to know lyrics. Do you listen to them and do you think about them?
Do I
A
think about
specific
lyrics?
example they pulled was the metaphorical gin and juice.
No way, really?
Yes, we talked about this
Do you talk about
yesterday.
getting that on a t-shirt? We want a t-shirt that just says metaphorical gin and juice.
That's it, just a t-shirt
Well, I'd
that
buy
says
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't, yeah?
What does it mean?
After the first 5 minutes in the discussion group, we removed a single participant under the ruse of needing to complete some additional ethics requirements. They were ushered into another room to pick a chocolate bar, discuss their choice, and describe which ads they remembered seeing before the discussion began. There were a variety of chocolate bars shown in the slideshow, but we only had available Kit Kat, Coffee Crisp, Aero, and Smarties. Coffee Crisp, Aero, and Smarties were not shown in the slideshow, meaning the only chocolate ad that was seen was the delicious wafer chocolate bar known to give you the break you need, Kit Kat. We were trying to discover whether or not the size of the advertisement and time of response had an impact on choosing Kit Kat. As is stated in one of the articles, one of the relevant factors in brand recall is the combination of an image and time exposure. Images play an important role in creating attention, but the time of response is not a factor that determines brand recall.
So here, have a chocolate bar.
On average, participants recalled seeing 57% of the chocolate bar ads. However, on average, they also remembered seeing 2 chocolate bar ads they were never shown. The time between seeing the ad and choosing the chocolate bar did not seem to affect responses. We believe this is because there was not a significant difference in exposure. 44% of the participants chose Kit Kat. The main reason for not choosing Kit Kat was due to their favorite candy bar being an option.
Just because I would prefer the Aero bar over the Kit Kat, even if I've seen it more than once.
Out of the 21 participants, 9 people chose Kit Kat. With only 3 participants making the choice because it was their favorite, it's safe to say that whether conscious or unconscious decision, the ads had an effect on the remaining 6 that decided to choose Kit Kat. Upon returning to the focus group, individuals were told not to discuss what they had been doing with the other participants. After all the individuals had chosen a candy bar, we finally discussed the entire experiment as a group. Let's watch. Which chocolate bar did you pick?
I picked Smarties.
Aero.
I picked Kit Kat because I wanted to go with it. So.
In mine, I went on a rant of how much I hate Kit Kats.
That's good. No, but did you notice the Kit Kat ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were more frequent than the other ads.
We also noted that some people, like April, knew that we were trying to deceive her somehow, but didn't know what our end result was.
I don't know much about marketing, but I feel like they're tailoring it to something. And I know they're trying to get something out of us, but I still don't know what it is.
Others noticed that they remembered seeing Kit Kat ads and chose their chocolate bar for that reason. Our favorite response was that the respondents saw right through us and picked the Kit Kat just to please us. Thanks, squad.
I knew you guys were going to see what I chose because of the ads that we saw, which were about Kit Kat.
I chose it even though it's not my favorite because it was the only one I saw.
I saw it a lot and I was like, yeah, I'd go for a Kit Kat. There was a lot of ads in the slideshow.
I mean, they were also in the ad thing. I feel like that's probably relevant, but also they're just my favorite.
Although our participants will always choose their favorite chocolate bar if it's in the mix, we can conclude that the Kit Kat ads they were exposed to affected their decision if their favorite was not a choice. The room for error in this experiment are exponential. The first potential error is the participants were our friends. As mentioned before, our friends wanted whatever we were doing to work, even if they didn't know what that meant. The second error is some of the participants are marketing students. When we gave the ethics form, it described our experiments as brand recall. The marketers in the group had a slight advantage over the other participants in knowing the ads were more crucial to our experiment than we were letting on. Realistically, there are probably even more errors that even now we have missed, but we ran a successful experiment in the library and it was pretty cool. So, thanks for watching!
Hello from the other side. I must have cried 1,000 times. Maybe, is it tried or cried? I think it's tried. I'm switching up the song.
Have you oh my god. Oh my god, I'm actually stressed now. Okay.
Would you like a chocolate?